Our planet is changing. Glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising. These changes are not just happening in far-off places. They are affecting communities around the world, from coastal cities to rural farmlands. Extreme weather events, from scorching heat waves to devastating floods, are becoming increasingly frequent and severe. These events disrupt lives, destroy homes, and strain resources, making it clear that climate change is a present-day reality, not a distant threat. These are not isolated incidents, but rather interconnected symptoms of a much larger crisis: climate change. The ripple effects of these events can be felt across the globe, impacting ecosystems, economies, and human health. Understanding this phenomenon is no longer a matter of mere scientific curiosity. It's about safeguarding our future. Scientists, policymakers, and everyday citizens must work together to address the challenges posed by a warming planet. The Earth's climate has always fluctuated, but the current warming trend is unprecedented in its speed and magnitude. Historical climate data shows a rapid increase in global temperatures, correlating closely with industrialization and the rise of greenhouse gas emissions. The driving force behind this rapid change is human activity, primarily the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Industrial pollution, deforestation, and unsustainable agricultural practices also contribute significantly to the problem. These activities release massive amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the planet to warm. The greenhouse effect, while natural and necessary for life, is being amplified to dangerous levels by human actions. The consequences of inaction are dire. We are already witnessing the devastating impacts of climate change, from drought-stricken lands and wildfire-ravaged communities to flooded streets and eroded coastlines. We face a future marked by more frequent and intense heat waves, prolonged droughts, rising sea levels, and mass extinctions. These changes threaten biodiversity, food security, and the very fabric of human society. These changes will not only impact the natural world, but also have profound implications for human societies, leading to food shortages, displacement, conflict, and economic instability. The most vulnerable populations are often the hardest hit, exacerbating existing inequalities. Understanding climate change, its causes, and its potential consequences is crucial. Education and awareness are the first steps toward meaningful action. By staying informed, we can advocate for policies and practices that reduce our carbon footprint. This knowledge empowers us to make informed decisions, both individually and collectively, to mitigate the crisis and adapt to a changing world. Renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and conservation efforts are just a few ways we can make a difference. Our collective future hinges on our ability to comprehend and respond to this defining challenge of our time. By working together, we can create a resilient and sustainable world for generations to come. Climate and weather are often used interchangeably, but they represent distinct phenomena. Weather is what we experience on a day-to-day basis, like a sunny afternoon, a rainy morning, or a windy evening. It's the immediate atmospheric conditions that can change within minutes or hours. Weather refers to the short-term atmospheric conditions we experience daily, such as sunshine, rain, or wind. It is highly variable and can be influenced by a multitude of factors, including geography, time of year, and local environmental conditions. Climate, on the other hand, describes the long-term average weather patterns of a particular region or the planet as a whole. It encompasses the typical range of weather conditions over extended periods, often spanning decades or even centuries. Climate change, therefore, refers to any significant shift in these long-term weather patterns. This can include alterations in average temperatures, changes in precipitation patterns, and shifts in the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. These shifts can manifest as changes in temperature, precipitation, wind patterns, or the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. For instance, we might see more intense hurricanes, prolonged droughts, or unseasonal heat waves. While natural factors like volcanic eruptions and variations in solar radiation can influence climate, the current warming trend is primarily driven by human activities. Natural events can cause short-term climate variations, but they do not account for the long-term trends we are observing today. The leading human cause of climate change is the emission of greenhouse gases. These emissions come from various sources, including industrial activities, transportation, and agriculture. These gases, primarily carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, act like a blanket around the Earth, trapping heat in the atmosphere and causing the planet to warm. This process is known as the greenhouse effect, and it is essential for maintaining the Earth's temperature. But an excess of these gases intensifies the effect, leading to global warming. The burning of fossil fuels for energy, deforestation, industrial processes, and agriculture are the main contributors to these emissions. Each of these activities releases significant amounts of greenhouse gases, exacerbating the problem. Since the Industrial Revolution, human activities have released unprecedented amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, primarily through the burning of fossil fuels. This period marked a significant increase in the use of coal, oil, and natural gas, leading to a dramatic rise in carbon dioxide levels. This has led to a significant increase in the concentration of these gases, trapping more heat and causing the planet to warm at an alarming rate. The consequences of this warming are far-reaching, affecting ecosystems, sea levels, and weather patterns globally. Understanding the human influence on climate change is crucial for developing effective mitigation and adaptation strategies. By recognizing the sources and impacts of greenhouse gas emissions, we can take informed actions to reduce our carbon footprint and transition to more sustainable practices. This includes investing in renewable energy, enhancing energy efficiency, and protecting natural carbon sinks like forests. The Earth's atmosphere naturally contains greenhouse gases, which play a crucial role in regulating the planet's temperature. These gases, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor, act like a blanket around the Earth. These gases trap some of the sun's heat, preventing it from escaping back into space and keeping the Earth warm enough to support life. Without this natural greenhouse effect, our planet would be too cold to sustain the diverse ecosystems we see today. This natural process is known as the greenhouse effect. It is essential for maintaining the delicate balance of temperatures that allow life to thrive. The problem we face today is not the greenhouse effect itself, but its intensification due to human activities. Industrial processes, deforestation, and the burning of fossil fuels have significantly increased the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. As we release more and more greenhouse gases, primarily carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels, we enhance the atmosphere's ability to trap heat. This results in an energy imbalance, where more heat is retained than is radiated back into space. This leads to a gradual warming of the planet, known as global warming, which in turn drives broader climate change. The impacts of this warming are far-reaching, affecting weather patterns, sea levels, and ecosystems around the globe. The scientific evidence for human-caused climate change is overwhelming. Researchers have meticulously gathered data from a variety of sources, including satellite observations, weather stations, and ocean buoys. Decades of research by countless scientists across the globe have confirmed the link between greenhouse gas emissions and rising global temperatures. Advanced climate models have been developed to predict future climate scenarios based on different levels of greenhouse gas emissions. Ice cores, tree rings, and other paleoclimate data reveal that the current warming trend is unprecedented in human history. These natural records provide a window into Earth's past climate, showing that the rate of current warming is much faster than any previous natural changes. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, a leading international body of climate scientists, has concluded with high confidence that human activities are the dominant cause of observed warming since the mid-20th century. Their comprehensive reports synthesize the latest scientific findings and provide a clear picture of the urgent need for action. This consensus among the world's leading scientific institutions underscores the urgency of addressing this global challenge. The time to act is now, as the window to mitigate the most severe impacts of climate change is rapidly closing. By understanding the science, we can make informed decisions to protect our planet for future generations. The consequences of climate change are already being felt around the world. Rising global temperatures are causing glaciers and ice sheets to melt at alarming rates, contributing to rising sea levels. Coastal communities are facing increased risks of erosion, flooding, and displacement. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and severe. Heat waves are intensifying, leading to heat stroke, respiratory problems, and increased mortality. Droughts are becoming more prolonged and widespread, threatening crops, livestock, and water supplies. Intense rainfall and flooding are also on the rise, causing damage to infrastructure, homes, and businesses. These events can contaminate water sources, displace communities, and disrupt essential services. The economic costs of these disasters are soaring, placing a strain on governments and individuals alike. Ocean acidification, another consequence of increased carbon dioxide absorption, is harming marine ecosystems. As the ocean absorbs more carbon dioxide, it becomes more acidic, threatening the survival of coral reefs, shellfish, and other marine life. These are just a few examples of the visible impacts of climate change, which are already being felt across the globe. These impacts are projected to intensify in the coming decades, posing significant challenges to human societies and the natural world.